If reports are to be believed, Aquaman 2 is in deep trouble. As we close out the Snyderverse, Aquaman is the last remaining superhero of a now-defunct DCEU. With James Gunn now firmly at the helm, we look ahead to the 2025 release of Superman Legacy to take us into the all-new and rebranded DCU. However, a couple of movies are still left before we get there. The upcoming Flash movie starring Ezra Muller will be the restart point. Aquaman 2 will be the final goodbye. As fans wait in eager anticipation, reports of poor screen tests are all over the place. It is still unclear though exactly what the source of this poor reception is. Some are claiming that it is simply narrative driven. Others claim that people are simply disinterested because they know the universe is being reset. Then we also have the bed-pooping elephant in the room. Fans are not happy that Amber Heard is allowed to keep her spot in the DCU. Fans have been calling for her removal for a while now. When news broke that DC will be sticking with her, most were not happy. While WB removed Johnny Depp from the Harry Potter spin-off series, many expected WB to do the same with Heard. It is reportedly not only fans that are displeased with the direction of the movie. Reports suggest that WB CEO David Zaslav himself is unhappy with the movie. Last year, senior executives at Warner Bros. Rejected the version of the movie that was presented to them. Since then, extensive reshoots have been ordered. Exactly what resulted in Zaslav giving such an instruction is still unclear. Some are speculating that the current version of the story was simply not good enough. After multiple screen tests, people were not happy with the pace of the story. This led to some changes in the script that resulted in reshooting taking place. This is actually a very common practice in film. Then there is also the more obvious explanation. Right now, WB is working with James Gunn to usher in an all-new cinematic universe. The current Aquaman 2 movie obviously does not form part of the new DCU James Gunn is trying to build. While the upcoming Flash movie is setting up the reset, the upcoming Aquaman does not really serve much of a purpose other than saying goodbye to the old guard. It is entirely possible that reshoots were ordered in order to align more with the new direction of DC. While this will be Jason Momoa's last outing as the superhero, it does not mean that they can't still use the movie to set up future projects. In the first slate of the new DCU, one superhero noticeably missing is Aquaman. He will not get a movie for quite some time. Maybe they will still consider Jason for future movies, but he is not in any of the 10 projects James Gunn announced. Reshooting is likely to happen in order to align things more with James Gunn's vision. Then of course, as I have mentioned, we do need to talk about the third reason why screen tests for Aquaman 2 might be going poorly. The decision to keep Amber Heard part of the project has been extremely unpopular. Fans are not happy that she is allowed to keep her job. There has been some speculation that they will heavily reduce her role in this movie. All of this is of course unconfirmed. When news broke that David Zaslav ordered reshoots, many assumed that it is to reduce her role in the movie. It is also highly unlikely that she will have any part to play in promotional material. When controversy started to pop up around Ezra Muller, WB did the same thing. They completely cut Miller from promotional work as well. Whenever their name pops up in an interview, DC bosses just say that they are focusing on getting better. We have also not received any information yet regarding their future in the new DCU. Flash himself does not have a very big role to play in the upcoming first slate. In fact, there will be no movie or series for him. Thus the likelihood of a recasting happening is very high. It goes without saying, but Amber Heard's Mira will have no role to play whatsoever. My speculation is that they are only keeping her in the movie in order not to anger reviewers. Now, in all honesty, I am fine with them keeping her. I won't boycott the movie because they decided to not cut her. I think Johnny Depp should have kept his job, and I think she should be afforded that same leeway. However, I do also understand why some executives might want to cut her out as much as possible. The future of this movie will be very interesting to observe. Whether or not Jason Momoa will ever play the superhero again is still very unclear. Rumors have been rampant that he will actually be recast to play Lobo. Although, it should be noted that James Gunn has denied these rumors outright. When asked, Gunn stated that there are no plans to recast anyone. This, of course, does contradict his previous statements where he stated that he would be open to work with past talent in a different capacity. In fact, if rumors are to be believed, Henry Cavill was already asked to return for a smaller unrelated to Superman role. He of course declined the offer to work on Warhammer. As stated previously, Aquaman does not have a place within the first slate of DC movies under James Gunn. He announced 10 movies and none of them have the superhero listed anywhere. Thus we will likely not see anything from the Atlantis King until at least 2030. I think it is very safe to assume that by then Jason Momoa will no longer be in contention for the part. The superhero is however a massive part of the Justice League, and we all know that Gunn is building his DC slate to conclude with all of the superheroes coming together. There is a possibility that we might see the superhero make an appearance there. Right now, there are still plenty of things that we do not know about the new DC slate. Although the main projects have been announced, we still do not know exactly what surprise there might be. For Aquaman 2, building excitement is going to be difficult to do. Releasing standalone superhero movies in today's climate is not easy to do. Marvel's cinematic universe has created a certain level of expectation. Most fans want movies to flow and connect with each other. Since Aquaman 2 does not fit in with any future projects, it might be a hard sell. However, with reshooting happening, the connection between this movie and the new DC slate might be bigger than we think. Ultimately, only time will tell how all of this is going to play out. Aquaman is still a very popular superhero. I am sure there are still dedicated fans who want to say goodbye to the final chapter of the Snyderverse.